There comes a time in every chosen one's life when the world seems out of reach, and the connection to others feels distant. You might find yourself detached from the people and situations you once knew. But this detachment is not a curse. It's a divine calling, a separation ordained by God. In this journey, you are set apart not because you are abandoned but because you are chosen. And this detachment is not something to fear, it's part of God's plan for your elevation. This is the truth we must embrace. Today, let's explore why this happens and how this detachment is not just a sign of isolation but a powerful testimony of God's intention for your life. The feeling of being detached often comes when we outgrow certain relationships, mindsets, or environments. As a chosen one, God has called you for a unique purpose, and sometimes, this purpose requires separation. It's in these moments of isolation that your soul finds its true calling. God removes distractions so that you can hear His voice more clearly. You may feel alone, but you are not. He is drawing you closer to Him, shaping your heart and mind for the next stage of your journey. Detachment isn't about being disconnected, it's about being realigned with your divine purpose. As you begin to rise into your higher calling, a noticeable shift occurs, not just within you but in the way others perceive you. People who have walked with you through familiar paths may now sense that something profound is changing in you. This shift can stir a deep, often subconscious, desperation within them. They see you growing in ways they don't fully understand, your priorities are shifting, your mindset is evolving, and your connection with God is becoming more profound. Their desperation doesn't come from a place of malice, rather, it stems from their fear of losing the person they once knew or their inability to comprehend the spiritual transformation unfolding in your life. This fear of the unknown can manifest in different ways. Some may try to hold you back, urging you to stay the same, hoping that things will return to how they once were. Others may question your decisions, unable to grasp why you are choosing a path that feels foreign to them. In more severe cases, they may even become resentful, perceiving your spiritual elevation as a reflection of their own stagnation. But as a chosen one, it is essential to recognize that this desperation is not your burden to carry. While their feelings may weigh on your heart, it is not your role to remain stagnant for their comfort. Their reactions, whether out of fear or misunderstanding, are a sign that you are walking in alignment with God's plan. It is a confirmation that your path is divinely orchestrated, and you must stand firm in your faith, trusting that God will take care of those who cannot yet see the light He has placed within you. Detachment can feel like a heavy burden at times, especially when you see those around you struggling to understand your new path. But this is where faith comes in. Trust in God's plan, even when it feels lonely. Detachment is not rejection. It's protection. God is removing you from situations that no longer serve your highest good. He is clearing the way for new relationships, opportunities, and blessings that align with His divine plan for you. Embrace this season of detachment, knowing that God is working behind the scenes, preparing you for something greater. When you find yourself in a season of detachment, it's natural to experience a sense of restlessness. The quiet and isolation can be uncomfortable, and the urge to return to familiar relationships or situations can become strong. You may feel tempted to reach out to old connections, to dive back into the comfort of what you once knew, simply to avoid the discomfort of being alone. But in these moments, God is asking something much deeper of you. He calls you to resist the impulse to rush back and instead embrace stillness. Stillness can be daunting, especially when you're used to a fast-paced world filled with noise and activity. Yet, it is in this very stillness that you are able to hear God's voice most clearly. Psalm 46 verse 10 reminds us of His powerful invitation, "Be still, and know that I am God." This scripture isn't just a call to physical stillness, it is a command to quiet the mind, surrender your anxieties, and trust in His sovereignty. In your season of detachment, being still is an act of faith. It's trusting that God is working even when it feels like nothing is happening. God's movements are often invisible to our human eyes, yet His work is constant. While you may feel like you're in a waiting room of life, know that this detachment is not a pause, it's preparation. In the stillness, God is aligning the right people, opportunities, and circumstances for your life. He is preparing your heart, refining your spirit, and drawing you closer to Him. Your detachment is a sacred time, a divine preparation for what is to come. Trust in the process, and allow God's plans to unfold in His perfect timing. Detachment is a sign of spiritual maturity. It shows that you are no longer tied to the things of this world but are focused on your relationship with God. The more you grow spiritually, the more you will detach from worldly desires, opinions, and even certain relationships. This doesn't mean you stop loving or caring for others, but it means you prioritize your spiritual well-being over external validation. As you grow in your faith, you will find peace in the detachment because you know it's a sign that you are walking closely with God. As a chosen one, your path is different. You are called to higher things, and that requires letting go of certain relationships, habits, and mindsets that are not aligned with your purpose. Detachment is necessary because it creates space for God to work in your life. If you are constantly surrounded by distractions, you won't be able to hear God's direction clearly. Detachment allows you to focus on your spiritual journey, to strengthen your faith, and to prepare for the greater things that God has in store for you. Many people struggle with the concept of detachment because they don't fully understand its purpose or implications. In a society that often equates attachment with value, success, and love, detachment can be misconstrued as a negative experience, a sign of failure, rejection, or abandonment. Yet for the chosen ones, detachment is a vital and transformative aspect of God's divine plan. It is not merely an end, rather, it is a necessary process that leads to profound growth and renewal. When God calls you to detach, He is not pushing you away. Instead, He is clearing the path for something new and magnificent to take root in your life. In Isaiah 43 verse 19, God declares, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." This verse encapsulates the essence of divine renewal. It highlights God's promise that even in the most desolate and barren parts of our lives, He is at work. He is removing the old to make way for the new opportunities, new relationships, and new callings. Trusting in God's plan during periods of detachment requires a shift in perspective. It's crucial to embrace the discomfort that may arise, recognizing it as an essential part of the journey. Detachment may feel like a void at first, but it is actually a sacred space where God can cultivate new growth within you. During these times, seek to understand what God might be revealing. Perhaps He is asking you to let go of old habits, toxic relationships, or even dreams that no longer serve your purpose. Remember, God's plan is perfect, even when it feels uncomfortable or challenging. He sees the bigger picture, and He knows the path that leads to your highest good. As you navigate through detachment, lean into His promises and maintain your faith. Embrace the truth that something beautiful is on the horizon, and trust that God is intricately weaving your life's tapestry with threads of hope, healing, and purpose. In the process of letting go, you are making space for the abundant blessings that await you. One of the hardest parts of detachment is the feeling of loneliness. But remember, you are never truly alone. God is always with you. In fact, this season of loneliness is an invitation to deepen your relationship with Him. Use this time to draw closer to God through prayer, meditation, and reflection. He is using this season to mold you, to strengthen your faith, and to prepare you for the next chapter of your life. The loneliness you feel is temporary, but the spiritual growth you will gain from it will last a lifetime. As you move through this season of detachment, keep your eyes on God. He has a purpose for your life that is far greater than anything you can imagine. Even when it feels like everything is falling apart, trust that God is putting everything together according to His perfect plan. Hebrews 11 verse 1 reminds us, "Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen." Walk forward in faith, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. He has chosen you for a reason, and this season of detachment is just part of the journey. Detachment is never easy. Yet it remains an essential component of spiritual growth and alignment with God's grand design for your life. As a chosen one, you are set apart for a divine purpose, one that often necessitates seasons of isolation and separation from familiar people, places, and even habits. In our journey of faith, we may find ourselves grappling with feelings of loneliness and confusion during these times, but it's vital to remember that this detachment is not a punishment, it is, in fact, a profound blessing. In the quiet moments of solitude, God often speaks to us in ways that the noise of daily life cannot allow. This period of separation allows us to cultivate a deeper relationship with Him, fostering an environment where spiritual growth can flourish. It is during these times that we are invited to shed the burdens of our past, to let go of distractions, and to focus solely on the calling God has placed upon our lives. Embracing this season of detachment with faith means trusting that God is intricately at work behind the scenes, even when you cannot see the evidence of His handiwork. Just as a seed must be buried in the dark earth before it can sprout into a beautiful plant, you, too, are undergoing a transformation that may be hidden from view but is vital for your future growth. As you navigate through these challenges, remind yourself that you are not alone. You are chosen, and God walks beside you every step of the way, guiding you through uncertainty and leading you toward a future filled with hope. Your detachment is not an end but rather a powerful beginning, a pathway to becoming the person God has designed you to be. Embrace this season with open arms and an open heart, knowing that God is preparing you for the greater things He has in store. In moments of doubt, lean into His promises and find comfort in the truth that your journey is part of a beautiful, divine tapestry woven by the hands of your Creator.